thank you for letting me represent you. Honestly, it's an honor of a lifetime. I really do feel that way. And I'm working very hard. I want you to know I'm working very hard because Washington, D.C. has truly forgotten what America stands for and what the American people care about. And I want you to know I remind them every single day that I'm there. So while the national news media and the bubble in Washington, the swamp, they want to tell everybody that MTG is crazy, here's what I have to say to them. No, it's you people that are crazy because the rest of the American people have had enough with it. I'll do that. Well, here's what's going on, everyone. In Washington, we are now planning the next omnibus bill. Doesn't that sound exciting? We're $30 trillion in debt, and we can barely come together on a budget that is actually a balanced budget. That's what I ran for Congress on, a balanced budget amendment. It's something that I believe in because I'm one of those people that believes that, I think we should do a good job with the American people's hard-earned taxpayer dollars. Instead of continuing to produce a debt, we're now $30 trillion in debt, $30 trillion. And it was last spring that Congress voted on a bill, and you all know I voted no. That's my favorite button to push, the red one. And it was the American Rescue Plan for COVID, of course. The American Rescue Plan, $1.3 trillion. Well, I want you to know that the Biden administration has come out and announced that they feel it's very important to have $30 billion more dollars for future COVID. Wait, what? Y'all, COVID is the future. Come on. So Joe Biden, there is no new COVID. There's multiple variants of COVID. Have you heard the Queen in England has COVID now? We call that the royal variant. It'll be here soon. You just wait. We'll say, all hail to the Queen. Well, in all sincereness, we do hope she's okay, and we wish her good health and recovery. But yes, so Joe Biden and his administration has decided that we need to spend, and have $30 billion ready for the next variant. Well, we know what this variant will be. We'll go ahead and call it the midterm variant. Yes. They sure have learned how to work COVID. It has worked in their favor all along. But here's who it hasn't worked for. Most importantly, it hasn't worked for our children. And what has happened to our kids and their generation because of COVID-19 is absolutely unforgivable. This generation of kids are now behind in their learning because school was shut down. They were sent home. They had to learn online for the first time, and now they're back in school and they're still being forced to wear masks. That's happening in most places across the country. That's child abuse. Masking children is child abuse. It needs to end immediately. Well, I will tell you all, there's one thing good that came out of parents having to be at home with their kids, and they looked into their education and their curriculum, and they found out about something called CRT, critical race theory. Did you ever imagine, after all the civil rights era and everything that's happened in our country, how we ended racism and ended all these problems, but now it's back in the form of our education? See, this is another thing I ran for Congress on, is that we need to eliminate the Board of Education.
Yes, ma'am. Oh,
yeah. It has become a tool used against our kids, and it's completely wrong. This is something that we need to continue to talk about. Parents should be in charge of our children's education, and that's why I support school choice. Well, while the Biden administration dreams of more variants, and I'm sure that Dr. Anthony Fauci would like to figure out how to produce more of them. mean, after all, didn't he fund the gain-of-function research? Isn't it amazing the things that we find out and nothing ever happens? No one's ever held accountable. No one ever goes to jail. What do you guys think about Hillary Clinton? How about that? After we chanted at Trump rallies when he ran for president the first time, and we did chant "lock her up," and we meant it, now the Durham investigation has released information that, oh yeah, indeed, Hillary Clinton's campaign was spying on then candidate Donald J. Trump. And oh yeah, that was true, that Hillary Clinton's campaign and more, her attorneys from Perkins and Coie, that they did spy on not just candidate Donald J. Trump, but President Donald J. Trump when he was in the White House. It is criminal, and those people should be in jail. These are the things that the American people find unforgivable. This is why we do not trust Washington. This is why we don't trust the swamp. This is why we don't trust the FBI, the Department of Justice, and many others involved. But yet they carry on, and here's what makes me more disgusted and sick to my stomach and angry, is our mainstream media sweeps it under the rug, don't they? The mainstream media thinks all of you people are stupid. They do. They believe that with their powerful platforms, they can say whatever they want. They can tell you what they think is important. They can tell you what they think you should think is important. And then they want to lecture you and tell you how bad you are and call you names like insurrectionist and white supremacist and, Russian collusion, all of these crazy, horrible names. And what did they call President Trump? What did they call President Trump and his supporters for nearly 5 years? Nazis. Horrible, horrible names. Oh yeah, never forget Hillary Clinton. Deplorables. Yeah, I'm proud to be one too. But the mainstream media, they think they're so much smarter and so much better than the American people. But here's what they haven't figured out. They have lost their reputation. They have lost your respect. And they have lost one thing most important of all, is that's your trust. And they deserve to lose your trust because they aren't doing their job. In a country where they have freedom of press, one of the most amazing freedoms that journalists can have to tell the truth and tell the stories, they abuse it. Because the freedom of press was never meant to be the freedom to lie. Never. And it's shameful.